What's up, sports fans? It's your boy, the Black Andy Cap. I'm back at it. Like and subscribe to the channel while we're talking about that before I forget. So, another great weekend of college football. Not so great for me as a Florida Gator fan. Gators got run, but hey, that was expected. Florida State ran all over Kent State. I'm gonna say something right here. Or I'm gonna say something because I got some Noles fans been hitting me up like, oh, you don't give us any credit. Why don't you give us any credit? I give you credit. You just ain't played nobody, okay? You haven't beaten a good team. Bama is not a good team. Sorry, Noles. I hate to do that to you. I hate to rain on your parade. They're not a good team, right? They smoked Wisconsin. Guess who smoked Wisconsin yesterday? Maryland. Maryland smoked Wisconsin yesterday. That's a sign that Bama ain't that good. Everybody's beating up on Wisconsin. I'm not saying that Bama, you shouldn't take some confidence away from that win, right? Your play says more than the win over Bama. That's what I'm going to say to you. The way you're playing right now is more impressive to me than the win over Bama. So I'm going to put it to you that way. Okay, so I'm not saying you're a trash team. I'm just saying I don't know how good you are. We're about to find out though, right? Because in 2 weeks, them boys from Miami coming to town. The Canes coming up to Doak Campbell, and that is going to be a great game. In my mind, I think that's going to be a great game. I think that's going to be the best test that Miami has had up to this point in the season. Yes, a bigger test than Notre Dame. I'm not a believer in Notre Dame. They dropped 2 games, a lot of hype coming into the season. I'm going to give them credit for who they are, but it's I don't believe it. And like I said, Noles, Bama's not that impressive to me. That game between the Canes and the Noles is going to tell us a whole lot about how good each one of these teams are. Can't wait to see that matchup, right? Because Malzone, I tell you, Gus is doing work with that offense. Offense looking powerful for them Noles right now. Okay, so he's back to where he likes to be. Gus Malzane's never been a great head coach. Every time he's been a head coach, it's always ended in a weird way, right? Just didn't work out right. UCF, same thing. So he's back in Florida State now at the as offensive coordinator. He's got the right guy, a guy he tried to recruit earlier in his career, didn't get him. Now he has him. They're together. They're looking good. Offense looks great. So I can't wait to see you guys go at it, right? UCF, great. You had a great win, pretty dominant win, right? They came out and flexed all over North Carolina. Tarheels, Scott Frost in the cut down there, after that debacle at Nebraska, that nightmare over the last few years. And now he seems like he's back. He's happy. He said that, I never should have left. And I agree with him. He never should have left UCF. He was building something huge. If he had stayed at UCF, what would he have had right now? What if he had gone to Florida? What if he had gone to University of Florida? Florida made a run at Scott Frost. He turned him down. Man, Billy Napier, Scott Frost, man, 2 totally different guys. I'm watching that game yesterday with UCF, and then I watched Florida. I'm like, man, what did Florida need to do to get Scott Frost to make that jump up to Gainesville? It's not going to happen now. I don't care what Florida thinks. I don't care what the buyout is. Scott Frost is smart. He knows where he needs to be, and that's right there in Orlando at UCF, right? So they're looking good. Gators just irrelevant, right? Back to where they've been the last 8 years, just irrelevant, right? Ever since Urban Meyer's left, program just can't find its legs, and so here we are. A team just, I don't even know how you describe what's going on in Gainesville. Just can't get anything done right. You look at the roster, it's tons of talent, right? Just nobody's using it. You look at how things fall out on Saturday, stupid mistakes, offense looks uninspired, defense looks great, right? The kick game, there's 10 men on the field again. Didn't get called for it, but there were 10 men on the field. He got lucky, so it's just a disaster. The Billy era can't end soon enough for Gator fans. Telling Gator fans out there, keep like, hey, get rid of this guy. They're telling you they're going to keep him until the end of the season. I believe behind the scenes in the shadows, they're finding out who they want to replace him. They're going to announce Billy's gone, and I think they're going to turn right around within a few days and announce who they're replacing him with. I think their concern is trying to keep the talent on the roster so that the cupboard is not bare, whenever the next coach takes over. So don't expect anything to change there. Billy's just hard-headed, right? He gets into a mode. He doesn't change, right? There's no reason why Tramel Jones shouldn't get reps in a game at this point, looking how the offense is running. But he sticks with Lagway. Well, he hasn't practiced in 5 weeks. Man, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Beck was down all summer. He don't look great, but he don't look like Lagway. Lagway looks awful right now. So if it's injuries, whatever it is, you should have sat him. You just got to make tough decisions. I know that's your boy, but you got to make tough decisions, dog. It's about them W's and them L's out here. And so Billy's running some type of camp to build men, and I love that, right? I love that there's nobody in trouble. We gotta win football games, dog. So Miami did what they was gonna do. A little surprised that Miami didn't dominate the game more than they did at the end. They got some sloppy touchdowns, good field position. That wasn't impressive. They went, the middle portion of that game and into the fourth where they didn't do much at all. And so I'm like asking myself, what's this about? Is the Gator defense that good, or is it just that Beck wasn't that great? So I did an episode about that. Check it out. It's out there in the podcast playlist. But we're here to talk about the Florida Big Three rankings. It's another week of college football, another week of Florida Big Three rankings. All right, so we get down to it. We start at number three. Number three, UCF Knights. UCF Knights are the number 3 team. All right, they put it together against North Carolina, dominated the team. They really did dominate the Tar Heels. Don't know how good the Tar Heels are, right? So can't take too much from it. I'm not saying that UCF is going to be in the top 25 because of that win, but they look sharp. And what we know about Scott Frost, when things are going well, he usually coaches a pretty good team, right? So no doubt in my mind, that was a big win for Scott Frost, the best win they've had this season since he's been back. So congrats to them. So you're number three in the rankings. Number 2, Florida State Seminoles. Florida State Seminoles still coming in at number 2, right? You gotta play a good game, right? You gotta play a good team, and you haven't done that yet. You've played teams that have you played a team with a big name in Bama. But I've been through this 1,000 times. I'm not going to beat you over the head with it again. After this bye week, them Canes coming up to see you up at Doak. Beat them. You'll be my number 1 squad. I am going to say this, though. Your offense is looking powerful. Even if it's against scrubs, you're still putting up them points. It looks like a well-oiled machine. Malzahn is doing work. It's going to be interesting, right, to see what that offense looks like against the Canes defense. I can't wait to see that offense and how it functions against the Canes defense. Because you see what Florida did. They came out in that third quarter. They kind of hit some of the outside, right? And the Noles are good at that, and they're better at that, right? And the Noles have a better blocking scheme, right? Billy has no blocking scheme. He just has guys running around trying to hit people. Malzahn actually knows what he's doing from an offensive perspective. So, and I said in the intro to this, Miami didn't impress me that much, right? I still think they're better than the Noles right now, but they didn't impress me to the point that I felt like, they're just gonna crush the Noles, right? And here we go, number one in the Miami Hurricanes. You're the number 1 team in the three things, Big Three Florida rankings. You're number 1. Right, beat the Gators in a decent performance. I'm not gonna say it was overwhelming. And you know what? I might consider the Noles number 1 team if they had played a decent squad. Right, I'm giving Florida the edge over Kent State just because their defense is much better and they have the talent. Right, only reason because the way they're playing, they're not really playing much better than Kent State. Right, so. We saw what USF did. I'm not certain my Gators could beat Kent State right now. Only thing I'm certain about in Gainesville is that Billy won't be the coach next season. But either way, Miami comes in at number 1. How good are the Canes? I asked this question in another episode. Check it out. How good are they? How good is Beck? Is Beck good enough to get them over the hump? I ain't certain. He didn't impress me that much yesterday. So, but there's the Florida Big Three. There's just kind of what I was thinking about, what I pulled from this week's college football games for Florida teams. 2 weeks is going to be exciting, right? Going to be real exciting in 2 weeks to see what happens between the Noles, Noles and Canes up there in Doak Campbell. UCF's getting ready to jump into that Big 12 schedule. I'm excited to see what that might potentially look like. I think UCF has a shot at being competitive in the Big 12 and potentially reaching that championship game because they know how to play defense. And that's not defense isn't a big thing in the Big 12, right? It's mostly an offensive conference. So I think Scott Frost has a pretty decent defense up to par with everybody else in that conference. If he can get enough offense and grind out enough, he might be able to find his way at the top of that heap at the end of the season. So stay tuned to the Knights and their Big 12 conference play. But anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, the Black Andy Cap. I'm out. Peace.